Hello everyone, and welcome back for another Rocket Lab Saturday here on the Stock Trek channel with me, Stock Trek Girl. Now, this Rocket Lab Saturday, I am super excited because we have a catalyst for the stock very, very soon, right around the corner. So be sure to stay tuned and find out just exactly what I think is going to be pushing Rocket Lab stock even before Neutron. So let's talk about this new index upgrade for Rocket Lab. Now, the small cap stock was basically part of what would be considered the Russell 2000 index because of the market cap that it previously held. However, lately, the stock has been on an upward climb that has pushed the market cap up between like the 12 and 13 billion dollar market cap range, depending on what day the stock is trading, of course. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Now, Rocket Lab at that market cap is no longer necessarily considered a small cap stock, which means it is now eligible to move up into the next step, which is the Russell 1000 index. Now, the Russell 1000 index represents the 1,000 top companies by market cap in the United States. Rocket Lab is slated to be added to the Russell 1000 on Friday, June 27th, 2025. Why timing really does make a difference and why the Russell 1000 inclusion of Rocket Lab is such a big deal. As you can see here, Microsoft was added to the Russell in 1986 and then went on to be added to the S&P 500 in 1994. Tesla was also added to the Russell in 2010 and went on to be added to the S&P 500 in 2020. Amazon was added in 2002 and went on to be added to the S&P 500 in 2010. Now, if you can see the pattern here, folks, an inclusion in the Russell 1000 index a lot of times will lead to eventually the company going into the S&P 500. We are in the early stages of Rocket Lab's growth trajectory, and my guess is that one day Rocket Lab will be in the S&P 500 index. So while a lot of people's sights are right now on the Russell 1000, my sights are on the upcoming S&P 500 index. Who knows? Rocket Lab might be in the S&P 500 index by the year 2035. And if that happens, that would make Rocket Lab one of the top 500 leading publicly traded companies in the United States. And if you like hearing about all things Rocket Lab and you enjoy seeing me, I am here every Saturday for Rocket Lab Saturday here on Stock Trek channel. Sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you never miss an episode and it shows up on your YouTube feed. Now, this is a catalyst, and the reason being is that all these hedge fund companies that have these index funds are going to have to buy Rocket Lab stock whether they like the valuation or not, which means most likely with all the volume coming in to buy Rocket Lab stock, the share price is going to get pushed up because more people are going to be buying the stock. Not just people, but you're talking large institutions are going to be purchasing shares of Rocket Lab to have in their index funds, okay? So this is a huge catalyst. This is like a graduation for Rocket Lab. And I am super excited. This is something to celebrate. It's already a catalyst before Neutron. Now, I thought Neutron was gonna be the next major catalyst, and Neutron is a major catalyst, but this is pretty good. You know, this is a good medium lift, no pun intended, but this is a good medium lift catalyst that is literally right around the corner. So, Rocket Lab shares have gone up as people are anticipating this next move by Rocket Lab going into this index fund. Now, a couple Saturdays ago, when there was this whole Elon and Trump fiasco going on, I predicted that there would be a pullback. Now, some of you weren't happy when I said, you know, please don't focus on the Elon Musk and the Trump thing. That's not the catalyst we want. The stock did pull back some, and I really hope you all purchase some more shares during that pullback, because now we are moving forward, and this is a type of catalyst that I want to see. This isn't just a little spat going on, right? Between two bros. This is a real legit catalyst. This is Rocket Lab taking the next step with its market cap, leaving those small caps behind. This is the type of catalyst that I like to see. This is the type of catalyst that's going to stick. Now, I think that this is also going to help be a catalyst to push the stock price to that $50 mark, probably a lot sooner. Now, I don't think that the Russell 1000 inclusion is going to push this stock to $50. I do think it is going to help nudge it in the right direction. When we start seeing some milestones and Neutron starts getting closer, I do believe this stock, you know, as we get closer and closer to that goal, it's going to go up and up. If there, you know, is success with the launch, this stock is going to take off. So definitely am excited with all these upcoming catalysts this year, 2025. Now, Rocket Lab's last mission happened to be a scrub because I believe it was the winds were too high. They didn't want to risk it. This is what I like about Rocket Lab. They're not pressured by the public to perform. They are not pressured even by the customers. If they think that the conditions are not optimal to fly, they're not gonna fly. And to some people that might be a disappointment, but for me that's not a disappointment. It's telling me they're using logic, they're smart, they're not, you know, they're not doing stuff off of emotions. Now, obviously we don't want there to be a negative outcome to the launch. We want these launch cadences to have a quick turnaround, yes, but at the same time, we don't want to see any mission failures, because over time, the more launches they do that are a success, then the launch success ratio percentage goes up, okay? And that's what we want. When the percentage goes up, they look like a more reliable company and they get even more customers because, hey, their reliability is on point. So am I disappointed that the mission was scrubbed? No, I'm not. I think it was a smart move by Rocket Lab. I mean, it's only by a couple days, right? So not a big deal. I would rather see a scrubbed mission than a failed mission, and I'm sure that's exactly why Rocket Lab made the decision that it made and decided not to play their Symphony in the Stars on that particular night. And what's interesting is Symphony in the Stars mission is like a hush, super secret mission. There is some possibilities out there on what it could be. Could it be Lear? I think it could be Lyra or Lear, as in like the musical instrument, is because, you know, it is kind of from Australia, which is close to New Zealand, right? I mean, they're buddies, kind of. I don't know. What do you Kiwis think? But this particular thing, they have 28 planned satellites here. And I think, you know, with the first launch being in 2025 and all the additional launches, I really think that this could be a possibility for partnership with Rocket Lab. It would be cool if that's really what it is, but if it's not, who knows? Maybe they're writing their own music in the stars. Maybe Rocket Lab is secretly starting early to build out its own constellation. Who knows? I mean, they're full of surprises, aren't they? Why wait for Neutron when you could just throw a couple electrons up there and just get started, right? So, even though Rocket Lab is joining the Russell 1000, I want you to watch your step. I want you to keep this in mind. Does it mean that you're going to go out and you're going to buy more shares of Rocket Lab before it joins? You could, but would I suggest you do that? I don't know, you know, because here's the thing. Some of these passive funds might start buying Rocket Lab in anticipation of it joining, okay? Which means that might be a reason also why the share price kind of went up a little bit already. Not just regular momentum traders and investors, you know, the smaller people, but the institutions could have been buying in anticipation of the Russell 1000. So some of it might already be baked into the price is what I'm saying. Could it go up a little bit more? Yeah, it could probably go up 4%, 5% more, especially, you know, June 27th coming up, or it could go up more just from the excitement from the everyday traders like you and me. So I'm not saying it's not going to go up still, but I am saying I do think some of its current share price is coming from a little bit of passive buying before it's gotten into that index. So do keep that in mind. Now, another thing I want to touch base on is something that Rocket Lab recently did, and that was going from Rocket Lab USA to Rocket Lab Corporation. Now, this restructuring and renaming is kind of an important piece, and here's the reason why. The reorganization actually allows management to ring-fence sensitive U.S. government work inside kind of like a clean room subsidiary, which by doing that, it satisfies the CFIUS and the Department of Defense security rules, and that widens the moat against overseas launch competitors, and it positions Neutron for the Pentagon's $5 to $6 billion NSSL Phase 3 Lane 1 program, which is already on-ramped with an initial 5 million task order. So basically, defense payloads are budget insulated and they carry higher margins. So that models even like a 15% win rate on the NSSL missions and adds 300 to 400 million of annual revenue by 2028. So with that upside, many retail traders have not yet baked that into their dollar cost, you know, factors for the stock price. So that may be a little bit of old news, but I do think that you have to also keep that in mind when factoring these other catalysts. So basically, with Rocket Lab Corporation, it kind of gives like a smoother transition to classified payloads, so to speak. So as far as even more upcoming catalysts, you know, in Q3 of this year, we have the maiden neutron structural test firing, which I think that's definitely going to be a big catalyst. So this year, between reusable rocketry and Neutron and, you know, these classified missions and possible, you know, Department of Defense contracts, I think Rocket Lab is setting itself up quite nicely this year. Now, as I mentioned before, we did have a slight pullback in the stock price after that whole Trump-Musk feud thing fizzled out, but the anticipation of this index definitely step-laddered the stock back up to where it is today and a little bit beyond. It could go all the way to $35 a share in the near term. You know, so who knows? And if something gets announced that we are not prepared for, something juicy, it could go to $40 a share. So in the near term, we are on our way to that $50 a share price that I have in my head for Rocket Lab stock 2025. Also, feel free to leave a comment in the comments below. I love hearing from all of you. I love seeing all of your opinions. And what do you think is the next major catalyst for Rocket Lab stock? And as always, until next time, invest long and prosper.